Wow, Rambler. Speaking of Adderall, my goodness. Hey, everyone. It was my birthday yesterday. Oh, happy birthday. That's awesome. Another year done. Do you like your birthday? I'm not a huge fan of my birthday. Actually, over the years, I've gotten, maybe when I turned 50, I started being more of a fan of it. For a while, I was not a fan of it. Consistent. Dick Jr.
Junior Dick, what's up?
You already work out today?
Couple times, yeah, once.
You got this. What'd you say?
Bigger session-ish, not really like one workout, but yeah.
Yeah, you have the sheen.
The glow.
Yeah, the glow. The after, what's it called? The after, yes.
Yep, just finished actually, literally before I walked in here.
Tell me, what did you do?
I did 25 minutes on the Stairmaster with like a 20-pound vest to kind of warm up.
If I did that, people would make fun of me.
Why?
I don't know. Go on.
I'm getting ready for elk season, like I got a couple weeks. I've been concentrating on straight CrossFit fitness, and now it's like got to get them legs ready for just repeated motion up the mountain. So I did that. Did 5x5 shoulder press, then did a little accessory for the shoulders with some strict dips with a weight, about 45-pound plate into 12 bamboo press into 24 tricep extensions, and then capped it off with a little 27, 21, 15, 9, 9 of row calories with 3 rope climbs after each round.
Oh boy.
Yeah, nice little pump, look good for the show.
Yeah. The bamboo thing, that's the one that kind of like,
yeah, oscillates a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, so you really are getting ready for like just odd objects on your shoulders and hiking.
Yeah, and I mean just shoulder health stuff too, pulling the bow back a lot right now. So just trying to get everything around that shoulder capsule to really respond and get strong, and then also have some instability and yeah.
Hey, those slack lines, Greg used to say this, and it makes total sense. You stand on the slack line and it starts shaking. Mm-hmm. It's not the slack line that's shaking, it's you shaking.
Yeah, for sure. I have a slack block. It's like a blue piece of foam with a little wood on that. And so I'll do some, just stand on it for a minute or two while I'm just kind of hanging out with the kids or doing whatever, just to like get everything in the foot and ankle and calf and all that, and just around the knee to stabilize.
And that's interesting, because as soon as you said that bamboo thing, then I picture like if you're holding a gun, it'll give you more awareness in holding it steady, or if you're holding a bow, it gives you more awareness of it steady because of just the what's it called? Stimulation,
like
from that bamboo thing. So who do we know who's going to buy CrossFit?
Do you?
No,
I don't either. I'm so lost now.
Would you tell me if you did know?
Yeah,
like
I would 100% tell
you. You would tell me.
I'd probably tell you offline. I wouldn't tell you online, but on the line.
I want to go back and walk us through. There was and if I'm misparaphrasing, feel free to unfuck me.
Yep.
There was a podcast you did. By the way, were you okay last week on the podcast after the games?
Who was I with? Which one? We've done like 2 or 3.
You were with Angelo and Rory, and you guys were talking about the games.
Yeah, that was good. Okay. Why do I look unhealthy?
No, you look beautiful. You just seem a little low energy and distracted. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more out. I mean, in a good way. Like there's just a lot going on, right? Like not.
And I'm just studying new nuances. It wasn't
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm I actually enjoy the more stress and chaos and those types of things. But at times you get a little bit beat down, and we've got to get podcasting, we've got to do all this stuff, and so some days you get less energy. And luckily Rory and Angelo are great at that, and Rory especially just kind of keeping the conversation on track. He's a professional at that. And then Angelo always has some energy. But yeah, no, great. It's just we got a lot going on, right? Good, bad, not really bad necessarily, but just uncertainty, right?
And just because you're in the limelight so much, usually you show up and we know where your 100 is, and you showed up like at 95, and I was like, I wonder if there's anything going on. So it's not like anything I don't think anyone else would notice, but I was like, oh, Rich maybe seems a little like distracted or something, like you got another kid on the way or something.
No, we don't have that. I wouldn't be Hillary has tried a couple of times. She's like, one more. And I'm like, man, we're just in such a good spot with the 3 we've got, and everybody's playing sports, and it's just I don't want to divide their attention even more, right? That's the hard part for me, because I just feed off of them so much.
Be honest. You have no say.
No, I have no say in anything ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Oh,
I
it's
know
awesome.
to be I couldn't when I wanted more kids, my wife's like, "We have 3 and none of them are fucked up. You wanna
Yeah,
try another
there
one?"
you
Like
go.
she starts like threatening me. Or she's
Yep,
like,
there
"I'm
you
gonna give
go.
you triplets." I'm like, "I don't give a fuck.
I
Let's
don't care.
go."
My cousin had twins on their fifth, so they had six. They were going for five and had twins. Yep.
I um I had a buddy who owned like CrossFit Afghanistan or something, and he had I want to say he had 5 kids, and then they went for a 6th, and they got twins, and he said the twins were harder than the first 5.
Yeah, I would imagine. I can't imagine.
What's the age span on that on your cousin's kids?
Oh man, I want to say the oldest is like 12 or 13. Yeah,
Wow.
12, 13, and then the youngest are now like Violet's age, 5, maybe a little younger than Violet. So 7, 8 years.
Is she over 35?
She's my age. We're 4 months apart.
How old are you?
I'll be just turned 38.
Okay, because when my wife had when we had the twins, we were like, that seems completely impossible. There's no twins in our family, but they said it's really common with women who are 35 to drop multiple eggs.
Oh, okay.
I guess that's
And
like an evolutionary thing. Like, yo, bitch, hurry up.
hey, hurry up! We gotta speed this thing up.
We're doing 2s now. Okay, so there was this podcast, and you were basically laying out like how Don had announced that there was going to be a sale,
Mm-hmm.
and you were laying out like your thoughts on what your thoughts on who were to buy it,
Mm-hmm.
and you were basically like, if a single person buys it and I like their vision, I prefer that. If it's going to be a private equity thing and we're going to keep doing this kind of bullshit private equity thing that I mean, ever since 2018, I think we've been in HQ's been in a survival mode, right? You fire 100 people and everyone I think that what's going on at HQ is ever since 2018, the vast majority of the staff aren't working either
Yep.
because either you were fighting for your job or because it's a corporate mindset and corporations don't actually hire workers. Do you know what I mean? They
Right.
hire
Yep.
people who just push
Yep.
shit around. So, and then they outsource stuff. You know what I mean? Instead of
Yep.
doing it in-house. And
Yep.
because you're surrounded with worker bees. Like Jake Lockhart can coach, bring a water to someone, and fill out the book.
Multiple.
Like
Yep. Multiple
everyone has
hats.
to be able to like pick up a
Yep.
hammer and work.
Yep.
So, so you basically paint this picture, and it looks like at that point that you are by saying that, I took it this way, that you were endorsing this cat Malik out of France
Mm-hmm.
to buy the company.
Yep.
Then you went silent on it and you never kind of walked it back. But I
Mm-hmm.
was getting the impression from the conversations I've had with people that
Mm-hmm.
you have walked that back since.
I will say I was naive to the ways of the world early on, right? And I'm 100% honest with that. I didn't realize the world we live in. You know, like Mayhem's we're on an island a little bit. We're an anomaly, I guess, when it comes to some things. Yeah,
Honesty, integrity, and values. You mean those things?
I'm I've been I've been enlightened in the last couple months, right? And kind of eyes open. Um,
Jaded or enlightened, Rich?
uh yes, I think
Okay.
both, right?
Okay.
I don't think I wouldn't necessarily say jaded, but just a completely different world that I completely didn't understand, and I'll 100% be transparent. Like I thought, everybody operated kind of the way we do here, and not to say that we always do it the correct way, but um man, yeah, I think early on you think you see one thing, and then as soon as man, business changes, power, money, business changes people, right? And sometimes for the good, sometimes for the worse. And I think, yeah, I've definitely learned a lot in the last since probably February about how all this stuff works. Is that about right?
Yeah, about I was just thinking, how long is 7 minutes? So, you didn't say that I mischaracterized it, but so am I is the spirit of what I'm saying is
Yeah.
true, that there
I
was
think
a
spirits. I
sale?
think the spirit's 100% true. I think I still think I think Malik is a good person. On a personal level, I still think highly of him, but I don't think he's the one always pulling the strings, right? And so maybe leave it at that. But I just it didn't work out, right? Business and friendship, and Those types of things are sometimes sticky and messy, and some people see things some way and some the other. And so we got out, and yeah, it's been an interesting road. And you just yeah, I've learned a lot. I learned a lot from that situation. I've learned a lot from a couple other situations. And as lame as it sounds, and as much as you don't want that to be your life, like there are politics involved in everything, right? Anytime you have people in multiple situations, and um, yeah, just a lot. Learned a lot.
And I know you said maybe you'll stop it at that, but I'm going to push this a little farther. So
Come on.
basically, there were details that so you met him, you liked him personally. You're saying you still
Mhm.
like him.
Yep.
There was talk that he showed interest in buying the company,
Hmm.
and then as time went on, details came out about his possible ownership that didn't comport with what you wanted, and so you tiptoed out of the room.
I wouldn't say necessarily details. I would just say, um,
Like he wanted to get rid of squatting below parallel, and you're like, "No,
I
I
don't
ain't
think
doing that."
that was never brought up. No, your
Okay,
words, not
okay,
mine there.
okay.
No, it was just like personalities, right? It's just different visions,
Okay,
different,
I'll take that. Different
yeah,
visions.
yeah.
Okay. Now, um, you've always stayed in the limelight in the community. Early on, came on huge splash by the falling off the rope, made a name for yourself, win the fucking games shitload of times, uh, come back with the team. Most successful place in the history of CrossFit for selling out level ones, destination location. People doing weird shit like they're going to be within 100 miles of Mayhem, so they collect $10,000 from their friends to buy all the clothes there. I mean, like every single person who meets you's like, "Holy shit! I saw Rich in the coffee shop, and he slapped me on the butt and said, 'What's up? Welcome to Mayhem.'" I made the slapping on the butt part up.
Depends on how close we are.
And then so you're always like hanging out at level 9. Then the games happen this year, and you do the open, and it truly shows uh it was the power you have to galvanize the community. I looked up that word, to inspire and motivate a group of people, right? So you come out there and it's all the talk. It's like, holy shit, that was so fun. And you were out there with basically what many of us see as the second coming, Austin Hatfield. And so and then Tyson Bajent's out there, and it's a really on a really
Fun time.
say
Yep.
that again.
It's a fun time, or
Yeah,
it was a fun time.
and
It's a
on a
good thing.
really shoestring budget, it didn't have all the lights. They brought Rory back, and it just showed, holy shit, like there was crazy energy there, right?
Hmm.
And so what's crazy is they pulled the old dog out, Rich Froning,
Dusted them off.
yeah,
Yeah.
dusted him off, and you still got it, right? And you played, you
Some
participated.
days. Some days.
Well, there you played. I mean, you played with HQ. There's a lot of athletes that would not have done it for ego reasons, putting it on the line, monetary reasons. I'm assuming CrossFit didn't compensate you. You weren't paid $20,000 to do that.
I got a Yeti with my name on it.
That's cool. All right.
Trice got it.
And you weren't self-serving at all. I mean, it was fucking great. We were fucking from the outside, we were all going bonkers, right? Everyone gave that open, like consider it one of the best ever on probably one of the most shoestring budgets. Then you host the semifinals and kill that, and you pay for I know you personally
In-person qualifying event.
in-person qualifying event. And I know that you guys really went out on a limb, and you went out of pocket and spent a fucking shitload of money
Still
on
paying for that. Yep.
wow. And paying for that production, that's a huge gift to the community, and then all the media that generates. Are other people? All that being said, now your star is really high, and the proof of concept that Rich Froning still got it is there. Are there other people courting you? Like as the sale goes on, like no one contacts me and says, "Hey, Sevon, how did you guys do it to go from 300 gyms to 15,000 gyms?" Not a single person's ever called me, right?
Right.
But do people call you? Do people court you? Like Malik went to you, and
Yep.
he obviously courted you because he saw your value. Are other people courting you, or is that why he came to you?
Um, I would assume that's why he came to us, through Facundo, and then just came out and hung out and saw kind of how special this place is. I mean, top to bottom, you look at just I mean, heck, we've got members out here that get a comp membership, and you look outside and they're like working on the machines and stuff like that. They just love it, right? They just love being a part of it. Josh does an incredible job from the community side of it, and then kind of back of house with all of our media, Scott, and all that. I mean, it's a special place. I don't, I've had some conversations, nothing super in depth with anybody. After that first one, it just, once again, I was naive in the situation. Man, here's the deal: is I'm not no matter how hard somebody tries to push, I'm not going to be a day to day type guy where I'm not going to sit in on meetings and be here for 8 hours a day. That's just not my type. I maybe as a glorified politician or queen, shake hands, kiss babies every once in a while. You can dust me off and make me dance, but I don't know where I fit into the whole thing future wise. If whoever gets CrossFit, right? I don't know, and I don't know if we want to continue to attach ourselves to something that we have no say whatsoever in either. Like what's the beauty of what we do here is, I trust my team to make the right decisions. I'm heavily involved in those decisions, but we kind of control our own destiny for the most part at this point. I mean, 100% are we using Greg's methodology of CrossFit? Well, that will never change, not any way, shape, or form. The model has been built. It's already there. It works. Now, dude, like I think we always, point back to that and where that is. I always joke that we're like the you got the Church of Christ of Latter-day Saints. We're basically that of CrossFit, right? So like I think what Greg did in the beginning is incredible and it still stands the test of times. But a lot of us kind of built on that methodology as, and have kind of carried that throughout the last 15 years. You've done it, we've done it. Anybody who's, done something and had a positive or had a net gain of some fitness, you're like, oh, this, what Greg did was incredible. He took all the things that worked, Olympic weightlifting, running, biking, rowing, swimming, combined them in this thing, and then hey, also defined it as what we determine as fitness, right? In the level 1 guide and the sickness, wellness, fitness continuum and all that stuff. So it's like, man, that's not ever going to go away. It works, right? Lean meats, nuts and seeds, lean meats, some fruit, little starch, no sugar, all that. So it's like we're the ones carrying it on. We stopped in. I went to Dallas, spoke on a podcast with a pastor at a church, and then we were going to Bryan College Station to do a competition. Me and Angelo, Rory was with us, and Ben, and we were going to fly out of Dallas to Houston. Really started looking at the map, and we're like, we should just drive from Dallas to Houston. So we drove. I think we'd had one meal that day. Everybody gives me crap about that. But as we're driving, I'm like, guys, it's 4:45, something like that. I'm like, see if there's a CrossFit gym on the route. Sure enough, CrossFit Corsicana in Corsicana, Texas. And we would get there at 5:06. The next class was at 5:15. I'm like, let's go, And so we show up and I'm like, what are the odds we walk into this place and nobody has any clue who we are? Well, it was the opposite. Incredible gym. They do mayhem programming.
Oh, they do mayhem programming.
Yeah, dude, it was so cool. Like there's kids everywhere and they're like, hey, sorry, if a kid gets in the way, whatever. And I'm like, love it. Kids are cheering the whole time for everybody in there. Like it was awesome. And it was a run deadlift. I'm like, I'm not running and deadlifting before I compete, but I did an echo bike, same thing, echo bike and burpee pull up, or just burpees to a target. But man, it was awesome. And at some point, I think they said, because the owner was a police officer, and at some point, the entire on duty police department was in the gym. It was cool. It was such
like someone called and is like, hey, Rich Froning.
Yeah. So, there's a picture on my Instagram from the other day when we were there, man. It was so special. It was so cool. And that's what we were at BCS and did a little Q&A and people were like, whoa, what's going to happen with CrossFit? And I'm like, you guys are like, as lame as it sounds, everyone there is CrossFit, right? Like just continue to do what we're doing and changing lives, right? And as lame as it sounds, because, everybody's like, well, like you control all of that, right? And it's, we as the community and athletes and coaches and all that are the reason it's so awesome.
God, this is a great picture, dude. This looks like it's from 1850.
I think I actually cropped somebody's actual story post, if we're being 100% honest, and then just made it my own. Sorry, whoever I stole credit from.
No, they're flattered. $20 for Rich to buy CrossFit.
$20.
We're almost there.
We're almost there.
$10 also for Rich to buy CrossFit.
Oh,
All right.
thanks.
Oh, shit, we're getting there. For Rich to give me money to buy CrossFit. Wow. All right.
I'll give you $1. I'll give you $30, I guess.
Yeah, someone told me the other day that they were talking to you about buying it with you, and you said you'd throw in $10.
$10.
Yeah, that was very generous. So there's the things that you're saying you do well at Mayhem. It's not just I like the way you pivoted away. I'm saying that they want your endorsement because of your star power,
Right.
and all the superficial shit. You quickly pivot away and say, well, Sevon, we have actually amazing media that sets the bar really high. We have an amazing community that sets the bar really high. We have fantastic management that sets the bar high. We have efficacy in our training and our coaching that sets the bar high. And then we also, and I'm adding this, we also have an affiliate program.
Yep.
And your affiliate program is basically people who buy
our programming. Darren and Christy do an incredible job. Darren programs it. Christy helps.
Darren Hunsucker and Christy.
Darren Hunsucker.
And what's Christy's last name?
Oh man, you put me on the spot.
Okay, and Christy the wonderful.
Novak. Sorry, I was all messed up. And so they do an incredible job. Christy's, man, she's awesome at responding to emails and doing all that. Darren he's one of the best people relators out there, I think. Top level athlete all the way to the bottom, and does a really good job. Josh, the programming goes through here first and is tested and all that. Well, so I'll back up a little bit. So right now, yes, people buy our programming and they become a Mayhem affiliate, whatever, and they get a banner and they do our programming, all these coaching videos and customer service stuff, answer questions. That grew under Jake Lockhart when Darren, my whole goal when I started CrossFit was Darren to have a job, the people of Cookeville to have a good place to do CrossFit, and I didn't want to lose any money. And so those were my 3 goals going into this thing, if we're being 100% honest. So we started the original Mayhem, and in the process, Darren, as Jess, his wife's father's getting a little older, and they had their first daughter and they're about to have their second. And so they wanted to be closer to home. So they moved back, peak COVID. And then in Michigan, Aunt Gretchen wouldn't let them open a CrossFit gym, do anything, healthy within the space. So Darren kind of sat there with no job and, was planning on opening a Mayhem gym in Michigan. Well, Darren is incredible at the coaching, the programming, the people skills. He is not the greatest at the administrative stuff. Like he would tell you that, right? And so in the process, Lockhart was like, hey, why don't we just give Darren something to do so he can start making some money until he's decided to open this gym. Well, we started offering the Mayhem affiliate programming, and man, it took off. It was great. And so did that for a while, and then finally a lot of the COVID stuff got lifted in Michigan, and Darren came up to me in Lockhart and he was like, hey, do you guys still want me to open a gym? And we were like, Darren, not if you don't want to, because this is kind of going really well and whatever. He was like, oh, thank God, like he didn't want to do it. He still coaches at my cousin JJ's house pretty regularly, so he gets some touches on coaches. It's just literally just JJ's barn, similar to mine but a little bit smaller, and local, probably 15-20 people go over there and train, like your old school kind of just garage gym type thing. And so he still does some coaching there, and so that grew under Jake, under our individual programming. And so our big thing, I'm sure people saw the podcast today with Austin. And Austin, we basically moved that out from underneath Lockhart, and Austin's gonna oversee that and give us a real kind of head to that and somebody behind that we can lean into that.
And Darren is a truly remarkable person. Started off as best coach ever, best training partner ever.
Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely. Every time I see him, like usually I avoid people in public.
Yeah. No, not Darren.
When I saw him at the coaches thing, I ran over to him. I always feel like he's my best friend. Yeah.
And Christy's awesome. Those two together, man, she is really good at with people as well. And is always on top of just responding to everything. She's like, I stayed up till 2 a.m. responding to messages on Facebook or whatever. And so you're like, holy cow. So we got a good team there. and then Austin will just kind of bring all that together with all the knowledge and experience that he has.
By the way, although he doesn't like doing it, Darren's an amazing podcast guest. Like,
oh, he's great.
Like level 10, yeah.
Oh, by far, he can just kind of keep the
Fuck
lights
having
coming.
you on Rogan. They should get Darren on Rogan.
Yeah, true. Yeah, Rogan, I don't think will ever happen.
Why is that?
I don't know. I don't think he likes me.
Oh God, that's crazy to think that. That makes me hate
I'm
him.
kidding. I've never met him. I don't know.
Okay. Okay. So I want to. So I love it. Just organic, right? And simple job for Darren. So Darren and I can still hang out together because I do CrossFit and I want my best friend to be able to do it too. Be in my space. Then fitness for Cookeville, absolutely noble. And then not lose money. Very, very, very low bar.
Yeah, that was it. You know, back when I was competing, I was making money competing. What did I care about making money on the gym, right?
And then you say that there's this affiliate program and it took off during COVID. Is that fair to say it took off?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And I've never heard anything bad about your affiliate programming, like nothing. And
somebody didn't like our warm ups, and I told Darren that yesterday.
Oh, okay. It was probably I'll leave that alone. So then you bring in Malleolo, and the chatter is that the reason why you're bringing in Malleolo
is to take over the world,
is to prepare for if there's new owners that you don't like, that he's preparing something. And I take these words off of the podcast you had with him today that I listened at 2 times speed to listen to before you came on. Preparing to you want to give more.
Yep.
Austin's brought in to give more value to the Mayhem affiliate proposition.
Yep.
And that makes me think that you are also preparing something that is like, okay,
something
if there's
sinister, huh?
Not sinister at all. if you get someone else in who you don't like driving the ship, that you guys are prepared to go out on your own.
And we've got a ton of affiliates doing our stuff, a lot of coaches. And let's be honest, coaches need help, right? They need help making money. They need help getting other coaches. They need mentorship. They need a lot of things, right? They're super passionate. They're super rundown. And that's the main thing, is we want to just help them with those things. I don't think, you know, hey, if CrossFit ever were to go away, we feel like, hey, we can step in and do that. I don't think it's ever going away. I don't think it's the end of the world if, you know, so and so gets it or whatever. But we are going to provide that service or that help to the people that trust us, right? And I feel like Austin is the best person from an administrative position. He's really good at that stuff, but he's been there at every single level. You know, seminar staff, freaking working 50 weekends a year. He's owned a couple gyms. He worked at Reebok as the liaison between Reebok kind of and Crosswell, ran the gym at Reebok, and then he's worked at HQ. Like, how many different levels? He's probably the most decorated at every level, per se, minus maybe Dave or somebody else, right? So there's a lot of good people out there, and man, and Austin's a good friend. He's a good fit, super passionate about CrossFit, right? About what, like, he's in the like most basic sense of the word, he's a homer like the rest of us. We're all homers when it comes to CrossFit. Like, that's not going away. We just want to be able to provide more to the people that trust us right now, and, you know, hopefully trust us down the road.
I think one of the biggest, I mean, HQ has a lot of issues, but I think one of the biggest issues is that they don't have enough people working there with a voice that have institutional knowledge. And that is something Austin does carry a chunk of that also, because there were some things back in the day that were done that were hugely successful, that are crazy easy to replicate. And it seems like you're either not allowed to say those things, or if you do say those things, there's 700 emails sent with CCs on them before any action is taken. And that is not the way HQ operated, the exact same way that you said Mayhem operates, when you're like, hey, let's find a job for Darren. And then because he bleeds CrossFit, it was successful.
Right.
Like, it doesn't need 400 emails.
I've said it numerous times, and to a fault, loyalty is a huge value for me. And if I'll take, and I'm not saying this about anybody, but like, give me 70 to 80% good work, but you're 100% loyal. I'll find somewhere for you. Like I just, on honestly, that applies to Angelo. He's probably a little bit lower than 70% good at his work, but he's super loyal, and so he's with us now full time. Um, Kidding, but
Sorry,
there's
Angelo,
just
you weren't
something to
supposed
it.
to catch strays.
Angelo always catching
Let
strays.
me ask you this about that loyalty thing. This is totally off topic.
Yep.
When loyalty is a two-way street,
Two-way street.
sometimes I feel like people misunderstand that, and I'm curious where you stand on that. Just because someone isn't loyal to me, because it's one of my characteristics, I feel like I should still be loyal to them.
Yeah, I get that.
Do you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
there's some hypocrisy where you're like, hey, you weren't
100%.
loyal to me, and then I'm fucking not loyal to you. It's like, what the fuck? That's what it's contingent on how you behave. No,
No,
I
that's
am who I am
completely.
because
I'm
of who I am.
completely in that lane where it's like, yeah, I expect you to be loyal, and I do my best to be as loyal as possible. But yeah, it's definitely something that you broadcast on somebody else when maybe they don't necessarily feel that or see that, right? But yeah, that makes sense.
Or it's just a sense of like compassion, and that like you have to be a leader for that person. I mean, I don't think of it like that, but like, hey, they weren't loyal, and so they need to probably, I mean, like I think people get opportunity to make mistakes and
Yeah.
fuck up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it's
I
like,
guess it
hey,
depends on the severity of the mistake, though.
right, right,
Like I
right.
could, like there's some things you can brush off and be like, hey, that came across this way, and they're like, oh man, I didn't even think about that. Then yeah, but if like something's blatantly obvious, that's just almost like and as lame as it sounds, it's a death nail at times for me. And I can forget, or I mean, sorry, I can forgive, but I'm hard to forget some of that stuff.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm really good at forgetting. Rich, you like those new Vivos you're wearing more than the Magna light ones you had prior?
Yeah, I really like them. The Magnas had a little bit of break-in time because the tread was so aggressive on them. These do not have that break-in time. I will say in the Tennessee humidity, and as much as I sweat every once in a while, they do hold a little bit of water. But now that the humidity has dropped this last week, I'm getting like the true test of them. They feel great. They don't hold a ton of water now.
One of the things that you talked about in the Maliolo podcast was taking this information that you guys have collected over the last 15 years, and you don't go into specifics, but I'll say like best business practices, best ways to have events for the community,
Mm-hmm.
best ways to set up the gym, best ways to teach classes. You have this giant pool of successes, and Austin's job, if I understand, is going to be like pulling all of those together basically in a package, and that's going to be what's going to be offered new as part of your affiliate model. If that's the case, it even sounds even more so like you're getting ready to be prepared for to pack up your boat and set sail.
Yeah,
Like, hey, look
I
at where
think it's a
we
more
are.
of like a slow trickle of things of like, hey, you know, if you would like to be a part of this, then here's this, or like I don't necessarily, there's not going to be a hostile takeover, or hey, you got to, join us, or
Not a
we're,
takeover, but a tiptoe out of the room. Like, hey, this really isn't our thing.
Man, I don't want to say no, and I don't want to say yes, because I don't know I mean, we all know with this sale and what's going on. Tomorrow you hear one rumor, the next day you hear a next. And so I don't want somebody to be like, well, they said they would never do that. And then something happens. Because man, the world changes pretty quick, and that's something that I've definitely learned over the last couple years, right? But especially it's accelerated in the last couple months for sure.
Oh, let me push on you a little more. In the
Push.
past, I feel like when I've talked to you about possibly breaking away, starting your own thing, that runs in parallel to CrossFit. Not like you've never been the guy who's been like, "Hey, our shit's better than
Yeah.
CrossFit," like all
No.
of these people do. You've always been so, but you've always been like, "Nah, I'm not really interested in that. I'm happy with my fiefdom here out in Tennessee,
Mhm.
out in the sticks." But now you're definitely building a team, and you have a current team with a ton of experience that's shown a lot. I'm sure you always want to offer more opportunities to your team,
Yep.
and you're getting older, and so maybe you have more time and like a broader vision of what hey, this actually could work. Whereas before you were just more like maintaining your fiefdom, and now you're like, maybe we'll get, we'll expand.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be
Is it
stupid.
expansion? Is that a fair word? Expansion? You're preparing for expansion, or
I
maybe just solidifying what you have and protecting it from the storm that's coming?
Yeah, I think it's control our own destiny at this point instead of being attached to someone else driving your ship. Like if you drive down the road and you see the RV where the car is attached to the back of it. That's what I feel like it's been the last however long, which I've been completely okay with. But if stuff's going to continue to change and not change for the better, then yeah, at some point you'd be stupid not to like pull the ripcord and like, hey, it's this that's the hard part, and that's what I always come back to, and I've mentioned on that podcast, like, we all love that word CrossFit, right? We all are a part of it. We've all seen it grow, and it's almost like in Tommy Boy's JoJo the Little Circus Pet, where he's just like, you love it so much. And so, man, I believe in the methodology, I believe in the community, and I just, at some point, I don't think it's like a hard split, but I think you just got to keep offering more. Like, if they're going to continue to drop the ball at the top, it's like, how do we have people look to us that, owners that need help or coaches that need help, or a mix of both. And man, why you'd be stupid not to be like, hey, we're not going to help you. If we have the tools and we have the resources, why not offer those things? And so, yeah, I don't know if that answers your question whatsoever,
Yeah,
but
I relate. It's the same thing in the media space. You're not going to do vignettes on athletes. Hiller's going to do it. You're not going
yeah,
to do a live podcast. We're going to do it. You're not going to do affiliate video contest. We're going to do it. Like,
we're going to do it.
yeah,
The
we're
stuff
going
that
to.
they should be doing, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that,
I mean, I'm
we've
not
been
going to.
screaming for a while
Yeah,
for them to do,
yeah.
you know?
And it has to make sense, obviously, for me too. It can't be like you said. It can't be like as much as I would want to have gone out and covered the Masters games. Like, it has to make sense for me too. Like you can't lose your shirt on. You can't go
Right,
under. You still got to feed
right.
your family.
Yeah, but then you also can't say, hey, it's not CrossFit, because guess what? We're using the methodology. Like, and that's the hard thing for me, like with all these competitions and different things that pop up, you're like, you're still using the method. And so for me, that's a hard thing. How do we justify, we're not changing anything other than what we've kind of learned. And I mean, even Greg in early videos talks about, if somebody, I think Maliola talked about it, but like, if everybody at your gym has muscle ups, why would HQ not go there and be like, how are you guys doing this, and figure it out, right? And so I think we just continue to do that. And if we have gyms in our affiliate network or that are doing our programming, that are doing some really cool things, we're going to go there and be like, what are you guys doing? How can we implement this with the greater community? And so, we were at BCS this weekend, and Charlie Lima puts on an incredible event.
Is that
I
really
forgot.
the guy's name, Charlie Lima?
Charlie Lima. Yeah. And
Great.
I mean, there's hundreds of people who go through this competition, and it's a fun competition, and people are fired up to be there. And you're just like, there's so many people in the area or in the space that are doing incredible things. Let's learn from them and be a part of it.
Let me propose to you this.
Propose.
It's not like that anything new has been added or anyone's improved on what Greg's done. It's just that HQ has not been able to hold the bar.
I would agree with it.
And so this vacuum has occurred,
Mm-hmm.
right? This fucking vacuum has occurred. That's like, oh shit. Like, superficially speaking, the L1 trainers used to be the best looking, the best movers, and the fittest. Now we don't even fucking know who they are. They used to glorify the trainers. Now, if you want to see people glorified, you have to go to a Mayhem video or a Hiller video to see people being glorified who are the new icons of the sport. That's a huge, enormous miss for podcasts. They got this dude on the L1 team who's the most beautiful man fucking who ever walked the planet. What the fuck is his name? He should be front and center for everything. I think he's out of San Luis Obispo or something. Do you know what I'm talking about? He was walking around the games. He's got big, huge traps. What the fuck is that guy's name? He's been around forever. I couldn't believe him, what he looked like. Maybe someone will say in the chat. It's like, hey, why don't you have all of these? Because that was the cool thing, right? You go to the L1.
Celebrities. It was a celebrity. You were learning from a celebrity.
Yeah. Who are you going to see? I heard you. Oh, Dustin Vigil. Do you know who Dustin Vigil is?
Maybe if I saw him, I'm out of the.
Hobart's another one.
Is that Oliphant?
Yeah, like how is Hobart not in every have this beautiful, this skinny guy with abnormally large body,
peppered hair?
Yeah. Oh, that's Rich Sevi. Okay, yeah. Yeah, use Wes Pyatt, use James Hobart. I don't care if he's not teaching L1s. Put him in a fucking L1 and no, you're not too old. Yeah. So, what do you think about that? The fact that not only is there maybe there's some new stuff, but it's also like, wow, there's a vacuum now.
I think a huge miss is a simple fix is there's no HQ.
Oh,
Like,
crazy.
there's no
They don't have a
HQ
gym
anywhere.
to go to. They don't have a gym to go to. Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, how could you not? You talk about getting some of these level one instructors, bring them out for a week, and hey, knock out a ton of content, right?
Fun.
Podcasts, whatever. Nope, we don't do that anymore. Like there's just some like low hanging fruit that drives me.
You could do a video, pick 10 beautiful L1 trainers, and they do some silly competition, a weighted pistol competition, and that shit would get 100,000 views.
I'm out. Can't do that.
You'll be the judge.
I'll rope fine.
But hiring Austin is a big step. I'm not being naive to be like, okay, these guys are up to something.
Are we?
I mean, it seems so. It seems like you're. I mean, one level you can be like, no, Sevi, they're just evolving and they want to add more to their affiliate proposition. But clearly, the affiliate program is very successful, and now you're bringing someone in from HQ who has a ton of historical knowledge, institutional knowledge, and was specifically in that affiliate area. And then we know that the affiliates are the lifeblood of HQ, regardless of anything. Because people go to L1s, and 1 out of 9 people go to L1s, open an affiliate, and it's just this engine, right?
Yeah. Have you ever read Jeff Kane's papers?
No, I think I have them, and I think people told me about them.
Yeah, they were just interesting. Maliolo sent them. He had them somehow, and
Yeah.
I read the first one, and then I put the second one in Grok, and it was a lot of the same mumbo jumbo. But yeah, I don't think anything in there was exactly like eye opening, right? Other than the fact of how much money that was spent on the games, which blew my mind.
And personally, between me and you,
Yeah,
his perception and what I knew in the papers that I have, completely different.
Different.
I think he was absolutely batshit crazy.
I didn't take it as like gospel or anything.
Yeah.
But it was interesting to read, the like angles, and then sit back and look at how like retroactively how some of the stuff went down. And you're like, huh, it was just an interesting, I guess.
Anything specifically in there that like jumped out at you?
I mean, other than that games number, but if you say it's not not right, but I mean, it was something like 50% of the revenue, or like it lost, I think $14 million or something in 2017. Like that was just something that really on my head, I was like, blew my mind.
Yeah. I don't think the books, in my opinion, were accurate. Since I was running the media team, I think they conflated the media that we did for the games with all media.
Right.
And
that would make sense.
Yeah, right. So you take everyone in media, you take their payroll and you attribute it to the games, and there's $3 million right there. And you're like, no, because 9 months of the year, they're not doing games.
Right.
And so, we had some pretty strong mandates by Greg that like, he didn't want to see anything on the front end about the games unless it was equivalent to like the World Series being won.
Right.
So yeah, I don't trust. Let me tell you something Jeff Kane said to me, and this was a huge explosion. And Dave and Nicole were there, and Bruce were there, and Greg was there, and I'll never forget this. And I've probably told you this story. We were in the kitchen at Greg's house in Larkin Valley, and this is where I learned. I think it was Jeff who said, and the number one spot for selling out L1s is Cookeville, and there's no second place. I was like, oh, that's awesome. And Jeff's like, no, we're gonna stop doing them there. Do you remember? Did they ever just pull the plug on doing them there?
We haven't done. We still do some. Not as many as we used to do.
This is probably like 2018 or 19 that this happened. 2019 maybe.
It's kind of stupid, isn't it?
So I go, are you out of your fucking mind? And he goes, no, it means people are taking the L1 for the wrong reason. I'm like, wait a second. And I fucking no one else is talking. They're scared to death. Right. And I remember I jumped out of the stool and I started just fucking going crazy. I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind? You think that there's some sort of problem with someone thinking that they're going to get to see Rich Froning and take the L1? How is that different than someone who wants to take their L1 and then also go on their honeymoon to Paris? And I just start warring with them. And Greg puts his hand on my shoulder and says, hey, stop being so belligerent. And I'm thinking to myself, belligerent?
Yeah.
because of my presentation, while this guy just said the fucking stupidest fucking thing I've ever fucking heard.
Yeah.
This is the same motherfucker that was like supporting you to turn off Facebook and fucking Instagram. Not even suspend the accounts, erase them.
Erase them.
Yeah, you got
Erase them.
you triggered me. You triggered me. Good job. You took over
Sorry.
the podcast. I don't have to ask you about the sale anymore. Well done.
We got to go home. See ya. Was it true? Was it true they wanted to like destroy the servers of media? Was that true?
All that shit, dude.
Gosh.
The crazy, they didn't care. We had this $1 million hard drive with like another $1 million of infrastructure around it to keep it running. It was like, you know, air conditioners,
air coolers,
the whole thing. And they were just like, fuck it, turn that shit off.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And they never did, but I don't think they ever did that. But thank God there were some smart people there who were able to gather as much of that shit as they could and take it home. And a lot of it still exists in people's secret little archives that no one knows about.
Good. Put it underground. Take it to NORAD.
When the first week he was CEO, we had a meeting. There's another time I exploded on him, and I was good friends with the guy. And he sits us down, and he says, and I'll use Darren Hunt. He would have fired Darren Hunsucker because his thought was he didn't understand how CrossFit worked and how CrossFit Media worked. The first thing he says is, I could hire people I could replace every single person at HQ with people who are better than them and pay them 20% less. And what he didn't realize is you can't do that. Can you imagine someone replacing Ben or Scott?
No.
It would be impossible. You'll never be able to pay them enough. These are dudes who live and breathe it. Every computer, every phone, everything they have has their work on it. Their work is their life. And that's how everyone was there, from Heber to Mars to...
And they were bought in.
Jay Bear. Yes. You're at church every single day.
Yep.
And so he was a fucking jackass. He was a fucking moron. He fucking killed the company.
No, I mean, you look at some of those things and you're like, wow, yep, that didn't work. Yep, that didn't work. You know, that was my main takeaway on a lot of it, was like, oh yeah, that was not a good idea, you know, like, and I feel like there was an overcorrection at one point, right? Instead of hey, let's start pushing day-to-day stuff a little bit more, you know?
They threw the baby out with the bathwater.
Just threw it out, and they got the couch.
Yes. Yeah.
And the blue jugs.
Do you guys, how far out do you see, how soon before we see the implementation, or Mayhem affiliates see the
fruits of our labor?
Yeah, the presence of Austin Malleolo on the team.
I think you'll start seeing it day to day soon. Like, I mean, I think you're already seeing it. Austin has been, you know, more or less didn't want to like jump in and insert way too much, and so he's done a real good job of like just pulling metrics and doing those types of things, just simple things, right? And just getting a kind of, and you know, the big thing of like just having someone dedicated to that one outlet versus Locker trying to do 50 things, right? And so I think to your comment about having people that are just workers all the time, which I think we still have, every once in a while you need to bring in another worker to, you know, lighten the load of one of the others so they can do better what they're doing.
Right. But by that, I just meant people who send emails. Like, if you can't, in my opinion, if you can't pick up a camera, or you can't teach a class, or you have to be able to empty the truck.
Yep, for sure.
And I think a lot of corporations don't have that. Like when we used to interface with Apple, they were just thick with middle management that slowed everything down. It was a joke. It was embarrassing.
Yep. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's a battle, right? You bring on more people, and you have to have more conversations and those types of things. So it's like, how do we continue to, be able to react pretty quickly, or, pivot pretty quickly if we need to, and I think that's one of the hangups with Austin, was like, he was just tired of shit not changing, right? Like, he's wanting to help and wanting to do something. And no matter what, the ship was either too big, or the captain wasn't listening, or whatever was going on. And so I think, me and Austin have been friends for a long time. And I'm really excited to have him around a lot.
And now you have the experience, you think, to lead a friend, because I know leading a friend can be challenging.
That's tough. I think if you get it out on the table pretty early on what expectations are. But man, Austin's not a guy that you have to like lead, right? You know, I just recommended this book to Sousa last night. There's a really good book if anybody who's ever going through, and it's a good leadership book / history book, is Team of Rivals, and it's about Lincoln and his cabinet. I'm a very team oriented leader, I guess. I like differing opinions. I like getting a group of guys around, guys and girls, and kind of listen to input and then make a decision based off that. And so Austin fits really well into kind of our three-headed monster we have here running the show. So I'm looking forward to it. I think he's got a wealth of knowledge and just a different perspective too, being not from Cookeville or not from the South. We've got a lot of people here and predominantly from our area, right?
Did he move there to Cookeville?
He's gonna part-time it. Hopefully, as he's looking at buying a space where he can stay for an extended period of time, bring the family down on off school times. But I think if he keeps coming down here, he'll drink the Kool-Aid.
And when you say three-headed monster, that's you and Jake.
Well, I should have said more than three, but yeah, it's like me, Bird, Scott, Jake's in there, Rory's in there, Malone's in there, and Austin. Like we've got a good team here that just some good ideas, differing perspectives and good ideas.
Any jealousy with from the team, or like you feel any of the kids bickering for Rich's time, or
yeah, it happens from time to time. I think
or
that
people
just
get
happens.
insecure that there's a new guy coming in, new guy.
Change is hard, right? And I think people might see that as a threat, but that's my job as well to reassure people, be like, hey, you're still important. You still have a huge place in here. And the hard part is everybody on the team just wants to do more, right? And wants to, not, I don't think in a nefarious way of like, oh, I need more power, but a more like, oh, I can take on more. But at some point, you're either going to get burnt out, or you're just taking on too much, and work starts to lack. Not even lack, but just you lose some focus on what's going on.
When Scott makes something, does he film it, make it, and then upload it himself?
Yeah, complete trust in Scott.
And no, and he doesn't. You don't have to see it first.
No.
Does anyone have to see it first?
Scott is the last line of defense, and I think I think all of our media guys. Scott, that's Scott's world, and Scott runs all that. We got nothing to hide, right? I'm fine making fun of myself or doing something stupid. I think it happens, right? And I think it makes it more real. Yeah, no, Scott has ultimate say. He could burn this place down if he wanted to.
So I won't talk about the current HQ, but just think about that back, go back a year or two when the Woke Posse was running HQ.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally they couldn't, not only could they not do a live podcast because they were so terrified.
Yeah.
They couldn't even do a recorded podcast. They couldn't figure out if it was the right sex of the person doing it, the right color, whether they were sitting upright. Were they too tall? Did they say the wrong word? Stuff had to be edited out. Certain guests were and weren't allowed. I mean,
Yep.
and then after it was made, it had to go through 8 or 9 people before it made it. Even before you could get a guest on, 6 people had to approve it. I mean, that type of shit, in this modern day, you'll always be behind.
I turned it down because I had to do an hour or an hour and a half interview before the podcast.
Oh shit.
And I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm not, I don't know if it's that way now. I don't think it's that way now, but this was a year ago, right before the Open or something. Yeah, they wanted.
Imagine the fear. That's fear, dude.
It blew my mind.
Yeah, that's just pure fear.
I mean, I screened all your questions before you asked me.
Yeah, I just sent them to you before. Yeah.
Actually, I hate that.
I write it in Arabic, so you can't get ahead.
Funny. French.
Yeah, and so it's kind of funny that you say that too. So there's I was talking with Susie yesterday. I said, Rich is coming on. I'm going to ask him this. He goes, really? I said, yeah. But when I'm thinking about what I'm going to ask you, when I'm going to say, hey, who's buying the company? Like, I don't want this to be the last time you're coming on.
Right.
I have to take the fucking temperature of our relationship.
Right.
And know what I know, that I have to do my research and know what you put out there already and be like, okay, like, you know what I mean?
What's on limits? I think there's multiple times that you've said, hey, is there anything off limits? And I'm like, no, I got nothing to hide. Right. So that's crazy, man. don't want to live in that world, right? It's just, and granted, I mean, we are here in a bubble, right? We're in Cookeville, Tennessee, but I will say, I mean, we're an international company too. So, but man, I think people appreciate authenticity over being scared.
Are you okay with CrossFit, what I call being an American brand? Like all these people are like talking about all these things they should do and take the games overseas and all of this, and Hero WOD should be other countries. And I'm like, what the fuck? The NFL doesn't do that shit. Like they would never hold their Super Bowl in fucking London. And I'm thinking to myself, what, and Ferrari's an Italian brand, and we love Ferrari being an Italian
Yeah.
brand. And certain bathing suits are Brazilian, and we love that. That's why we like them. They don't need to be like, hey, we got we're part American.
Yeah, I'm obviously this Cookeville will be the home of CrossFit Mayhem or Mayhem, whatever you want to call it, for a long, long time. I don't foresee it ever leaving.
When Jason de-affiliated for a while, he called it like he had like on
NC
a
Fit,
sign. What do you have it?
NC Fit,
NC Fit.
NC Gym.
And then they had up on their sign. I visited one like HIIT, high intensity interval
Interval
training.
training. Yep.
And then I had him on the show when they reaffiliated. He goes, that always made me nauseous. I would walk up and I would see that and I'd be like, fuck, that just doesn't feel right. That feels gross. And that's what you're, I think, implying, that we're all attached to that word CrossFit.
Yep.
I do think, and I'm not encouraging anything, but I do think that after 15 years of mayhem being in the vernacular, the lexicon of what is, that if you haven't, you're very close to earning your right to be your own thing.
Yeah.
Do you see
Right.
that?
Yeah, and I think, it's hard, right? Because you do hate when these upstarts come out and you're like, you're just I I have zero problem with high rocks. Like people going out, and I've said this multiple times, I'm fine with people going out and training for something. Guess what? They're doing CrossFit,
Yeah.
minus the like constantly varied, because the test every time.
They're really doing Move Max. They're really doing the 1 hour Move Max.
Oh, you are right.
Yes.
Dang it. Maybe they should rebrand to Move Max. But like, I just hate the fact. Oh, it's not CrossFit. I'm like, it is.
Oh, they've made
it's
a cross.
CrossFit.
It's a brilliant idea. They took it's what Fran was in 2011.
Yeah.
They've
Yep.
taken a workout and they've just built a ton of hype around it.
100%. 100%. And so if it gets people moving, whatever. But it's hard, right? You don't want to be that guy that was like, oh,
Right.
I did this. Like we were built on what Greg taught and what he did. But yeah, I do think over the last 15 years we've learned a thing or two about how it works now.
Well, and like I'm saying, and what you're doing now would have worked back then too.
Right.
Is what I'm saying. You're not like, hey, it's about having a gym. It's about running classes. It's about efficacy. It's about a good culture where people support each other. It's about just
what HQ should be doing.
All ages are welcome.
Yep.
It's about good content coming out. It's I just see like when I think of what this podcast channel, I think of it as like, hey, I didn't do anything new. I'm just doing what I used to do over there. And just slowly over time, like you're doing, I'm just replicating it.
Yep. Taking that and just kind of building on it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
or just literally
replicate,
like literally just replicating it. Like Kill Taylor's just a poor man's CrossFit Games. You know what I mean? It's like we have an affiliate show. We have Sousa's business show. We're just doing everything that they used to do over there, but like with our limited StreamYard shit.
I would say better though. Like it's actually, doing some things to help. I don't know, man. It's almost elementary at this point.
Yes.
Stuff that should be going on in the space, and it's just from HQ, right? But it's just not.
Right. If you were to guess when we'll know about the sale, do you think we'll know by by January 1 of 2026?
I don't know. The last I'd heard was, what was it? The 12th, August 12th was the date. That was
I've heard every Tuesday for the last 3 months. We're gonna know.
And then I heard it was extended 3 weeks from the 12th. That's the last insider true information that I had. I had heard that an offer was accepted, but funds had to be confirmed. But then I also heard from another party that Moelis doesn't do the confirmed funds thing. Like you have to confirm funds before. So man, I don't know. It's like it's way more money than I have and way more money than I can even really fathom. Um, and so I don't know. Like it's getting to the point where it's just like what is going on? Like what Twilight Zone-ish, you know?
Do you think it was a mistake that Don announced that the company was for sale? Like over at HQ, everyone's just, it's just, you basically caused all the rats to get frantic instead of keep their heads down and work.
Yeah, it's lame duck, you know. It's like when a president gets, you know,
Yeah.
like the outgoing president, you can't get anything done, you know. Like because here's the deal: is whoever comes in, they're not keeping the current CEO. They're going to want to have their own flavor, right? And so, man, it's just tough to sit here and watch or sit here and wait, right? And then you play the rumor game or hear rumors, and yeah, it just
So instead of having 150 people at HQ work for the 10,000 affiliates, they're just sitting idle,
yep.
even
Well,
more idle than normal.
it's instead of building off the, I would say, momentum of the season, you know, open here, some in-person qualifying event here, games, pretty good success, all things considered.
I thought the games were awesome. I mean,
I
I was
thought they were,
there.
I
Anytime
thought
we
they were
go,
great.
yeah.
The only thing to me that was missing was the outside community aspect of it.
Right.
From a show perspective, it was great. Being on site, man, people were fired up. You know, people were fired up that, hey, they're like, man, it was 3 hours from us, and we've always wanted to go to the game, so we came here. And it was the gyms we went to in Albany were awesome. The community events that we did, the workouts, not like community hangout stuff, was incredible. So I mean, like, man, we have such a good momentum going, and then you're just kind of like, cool, what are we going to do with it? Because who's going to be the owner and what's going on? And, you know, so are we all going to be doing 3 hour burnout workouts every day? You know, like, is that the new thing in the gym affiliate thing?
Brock, 499. Thank you. Um, will there ever be a tell all book about your relationship with Matt and Tia?
I've got no problem with Matt or Tia.
I'm not suggesting you have a problem. I'm just suggesting that you had three.
Suggested.
I'm suggesting that the three greatest CrossFitters of all time came together
And
and
then separated and exploded.
and then parted ways. And I don't know your relationship with Matt or with Tia, but clearly there's some issues with Tia and Matt. And I don't ever seem to see any pictures of you and Tia or you and Matt together. So I just figure that there's
Tia let us do a podcast with Dave at Proven.
oh,
Yeah, I talked to Nick quite a bit. Johnson over there at Proven.
he's amazing, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a good dude. And Taylor was on our team, and we kind of became friends. We're both Detroit sports fans, so we'll every once in a while talk about that. Man, I think you just got, for lack of better terms, three alphas, and it just happens. You know,
Yeah,
like
I don't accept that anymore. I've heard enough stories where I think there were some values and character traits amongst the three of you that didn't coincide.
it was all my fault, man. I'm a dick. It is my name.
Oh my goodness. All right. Any other book coming out, Rich?
My book?
Yeah, any others? Any?
I didn't think anybody would want to read the first one, so I don't know. We'll see. I guess I can just put it in Grok and then have them write it, and then I'll just publish that. Maybe I'll talk to Rory. Rory's a really good writer.
And what was I gonna say? Not a book, but a not a life movie. Yeah. Has anyone approached you about doing a life movie? Oh, do you know that there's this there's a has anyone contacted you about the fiction movie that's coming out about the CrossFit Games or that's being written? Oh,
No.
okay. Okay.
Pretty cool. I watched F1 last night.
How was that?
Great movie, and I'm not an F1 fan. Like, I'm a racing fan. Great movie. I'm also a Brad Pitt homer, so I mean, our gym is named after Fight Club, so
Oh, it is?
yeah. And then we actually made
That's where Mayhem comes from, is Fight Club?
Project Mayhem.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. It's
Hey.
the thing that happened after Fight Club.
Oh.
And if you really look into what Project Mayhem was, just now you're going to be on it. Like, we watched Interstellar, so now your brain's going to go in all different places when you look up Project Mayhem from Fight Club.
Okay, I'll have to look that up. What about running for office? Are you any closer to that?
Not till my kids get older will I ever consider that. It's too much time.
Hmm.
Kids are playing sports, so that's how can I be assistance to that, or just watch?
Sevon, are you going to cry when Rich does his own thing?
I'm not going anywhere.
I'm just always ready to go to war. That's it.
Go to war. I like that. Go to war.
I'm always ready to go to war.
Always
Nothing.
packing.
Yeah, nothing to lose, everything to gain. All right. Hey, dude, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate you.
You're the best. Say hi to everyone over there. Tell Hillary that before we die, we got to patch things up.
All right.
All
Love
right.
you. Bye.
Love you, buddy. Bye.